Hello again, my friends. Kevin Forte, also known as Deadhead Kev here, and this is going to be another Day of the Dead video. But we're not going to be talking about the movies or any documentaries. This is something that is cool that Trick or Treat Studios has done. Now, this isn't new because we had figures of Day of the Dead before, but if it's figures, it's usually Bob or Dr. Tongue. And I remember there was a figures that came out back in 2008, I think it was. And, those are the only two figures. Trick or Treat Studios decided to go a little further, but not just make the toys of Bob and Dr. Tug, but two human characters, Sarah Ballman and Captain Henry Rhodes, in this new line of figures from the film Day of the Dead. So, okay, here in this box here, this is what I got from Trick or Treat Studios. So I'm going to take the figures out this box here, which you can tell I already opened it, but I'm not taking the figures out of the box. I'll show that in photos of toys when they were first showed off. So let's start with Sarah Ballman, played by Laurie Cardell. Now this is the first time she's actually had an action figure. Of course, like I said, there's always the zombies, and I guess if you're gonna do figures of Day of the Dead, if one of the humans, definitely Sarah has to be one of them. So Sarah comes in with a Uzi gun, a regular gun, and a pole. I guess that's a pole which was strangling zombies on the neck from early in the movie. But yeah, it seems like a pole. So wait, MCT user. Yeah, it is. It's a zombie wrangling snare from early in the movie when they try to grab the zombies and pull them out from the mine, and they were taking them to Dr. Logan to be tested on. So let's go see who else we got. Of course, this is the figure I wanted the most, and I'm surprised nobody's done a figure of this character. That is Captain Henry Rhodes, played brilliantly by Joseph Pilato. And of course, if Pilato was still alive, he would have been 77 years old. He died a week after his birthday. God rest his soul. But anyway, I'm glad we finally got a figure of Captain Rhodes. This was definitely a must. I've been waiting for this figure for years. So Captain Rhodes comes with his revolvers and assault rifle. Of course, he has done a lot of damage with his weapons. With the assault rifle, this is the weapon he killed Dr. Logan with. And also the dual revolvers he killed Fisher with. Of course, he did have the gun at the end, try to kill Bub, but fortunately he didn't put the magazine in, which led to his fate as the zombies pulled him apart. Oh well. All right, so those are the humans. So now let's go check the zombies. Of course, Dr. Tongue. But this figure does something different than the other Dr. Tongue figure has. This one comes with the alligator in the beginning of the movie, which I thought that was pretty brilliant that they did that, because heck, nobody's gonna just buy a figure with the alligator. Might as well just slap him in as an accessory. So it also comes with the newspaper as well, as you seen earlier in the movie. And this is very well detailed. The hair is realistic looking hair. It's smoother in the box, so the hair will get messed up. As you know, in the movie, we never get to see Dr. Tongue's legs because he was a half puppet. So in figures and other things, they add legs to him, because why make a figure of just a half puppet? And of course, Bob is a figure that's a must-have and has to be part of a collection. Now, Bob comes with a lot of accessories. He comes with a pistol, a tape player with headphones, a razor, actually, and a tree bucket, his reward for Dr. Logan. And this one is very well detailed. Pretty much looks like he does in the movie. Even has a nice chain around his neck. So, as he says here, he's known as Zombie Specimen, codename Bub, because nobody knows his name. Dr. Logan named as Bub. Also, Dr. Tongue is Zombie Specimen, codename Dr. Tongue, even though that name was never given to him in the movie. But Savini named him that. So, these figures just recently came out. I pre-ordered them back a few weeks ago. It came in like 2 weeks after I got them, or ordered it. But if you're a fan of Day of the Dead, these are definitely must-have. And I hope this is not the only 4 figures we get. I really hope they do a lineup of more. I mean, I would like to see figures of John or Steel, or yes, even Miguel, but it'd be nice to have zombies from them up. Or they should even have some other zombie figures, like the zombie that Tassos Garassis played. I hope I pronounced his last name correctly. He's the zombie that had the helmet. He was on the elevator. He was the one that fell down. He was part of the zombies that pulled Captive Roads apart. I'm just saying that, I really hope this is not the last lineup of figures, just four. I mean, there's more they could do with this. And I really hope they do more figures on other Romero films like Dawn of the Dead. Yes, we have had figures of Dawn of the Dead before. We've had zombified Steven. We've had the Hare Krishna zombie. We had the plaid zombie. But we never got the humans. I mean, it'd be nice to get a figure of Peter or Francine or Roger or Steven when he's not a zombie. Those would be cool. Or figures of Night of the Living Dead. I mean, we have like they did make these little figures that Fright Rags released, which I do have. But like bigger figures. You could make a figure of Ben, Barbara, Harry Cooper, zombified Sarah, zombified Johnny, the #1 Flesh Eater. Those would definitely be some great figures to make. And since it's public domain, who's gonna stop you from making it? So I'm glad they finally made figures of Day of the Dead, because usually you would see figures of zombie films. It's usually making zombies of figures of Return of the Living Dead. But when they do that, it's usually Tarman. How could they never make figures of the human characters? I mean, if you made a figure of, let's just say, Ernie or Spider or Bert, those would sell. I mean, yes, we do love our zombies, but we also like the human characters as well. So it'd be nice if, they do more of that. That's why I'm glad they have a figure of Sarah, a figure of Rhodes. But I hope this is not the last lineup, because it deserves a second lineup and we need more figures. Even if the second one is just one last lineup, I'm good with 2 lineups. So Trick or Treat Studios, you did a very great job of making these figures of Day of the Dead. These are must-haves for Day of the Dead fans, and I'm glad that 4 decades later, because we don't know, Day of the Dead started off as a failure, more successful. Now we're getting these action figures. So I'm glad that the love for Day of the Dead has been growing over the years. So if you want these figures, you go down to Trick or Treat Studios website and order it. And that's my talk for today. I am Deadhand Kev, and just remember, don't choke on them. Choking on toys is a hazard. See ya.